All right, sketchbook heroes, sketchbook warriors. Woo, we've got a little setting up to go, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into this. We've got a little warm up, and then we've got some simple drawings, and then we'll jump into our tougher drawings. So let's jump into what we're doing here. Let's here we go. There we go. So we're gonna do this quick tree. It's really a scribble tree. So it's good just to get action, get your action going, warm up. Look, you can see this tree. It's a circle shape, and then you can see the trunk. And then we've got a simple little here, a simple little unicorn. And we've got some pears, a pair of pears, and then we've got this car. We'll do this, and that's where we'll end this little session here, and then we'll jump into this little drawing. That'll be cute. We've got quite a few drawings. We've got this one, and some we'll probably skip. And that'll be it for the night. Let's see, we've got quite a few more intense drawings. So people and the landscape. We'll see if we get there. We'll see how much we do. All right, let's get started. All right, let's just jump into it. All right. So the first one is the tree. I don't know. I'll put it in the chat if you'd like, but let me see. It's a simple tree. It's just a circle. Turn it upside down. What's cool about it is it's good practice, and you can draw a bunch of these. You just don't have to just draw one. You can draw many of them. And practicing drawing your circles, getting a whole bunch. Do a bunch of trees here and there, and then it's just scribbles. It is just scribbles. This was submitted by Ellen, and it is good just to take action. Sometimes we're afraid to make mistakes, and just scribbling and getting your pencil moving is a good thing to do. Seeing how it feels. I actually even did, I can bring it out. I did a sketch of something like this with scribbles in it. I should share. We didn't share. We haven't really been sharing. But if you have drawings you'd like to share, you can share. See, it's in that circle space, and I'm going out. Depending on how far out you go, it'll depend on how furry or fuzzy this tree is and how dark. Some dark areas, if you want to get some dark areas below, give it some form. Make it look like it's a little darker on one side. That'll give it some form. And then you've got the trunk of the tree, which is has a little bit of a bend to it. I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit more. And it has some texture too. So if you put some texture lines on it, give it a little more character. And then it just stops. I don't like the way it just stops here. It really should have some kind of plane. And the plane should be back. I don't know, I'm not crazy about the in the original, but it's all good. It's everybody has their opinions. See, this gives it a little bit more space, but I've got opinions with a reason. Oh man, it's yeah. When you get feedback, I gotta be that warrior. Don't worry about what people say about your drawings. It's a safe space. It should be a safe space. Your sketchbook should be your space to make mistakes. And there we go. Look at, we can start over and do something new, right? Or you can, it's forgiving. It's forgiving. We can do another tree and just practice your trees. Practice taking action, right? Not afraid to make mistakes. Oh, I can share that drawing that I did, because actually this reminds me of that little scribble that I did. There's a little bit of a scribble like this that I got texture.
Hold on, I'm on shit, motherfucker. Las Vegas running through me.
And
Las Vegas up out of.
there we go. That's it. All right. It's gonna be one of those days. That's all good. That's funny. All right, so here we go. There's another tree. And you can think about space. You can think about, this is what makes these fun. You can think about space, and if that's too easy, let's go to our next drawing, which is a little more difficult. I didn't break this one down. I should have, but I can kind of see there's two shapes to it. There's the body shape, and then there's the head shape. And the head shape kind of goes up at this angle. And this is the unicorn. So I drew that circle, and I drew these two shapes. You kind of almost see these two shapes, right? Let me go a little bit darker. You've got your circle, And then you've got this, but I wouldn't go this dark. You want to be able to see this as a shape and then start putting it together. So I'm going to put this together, see this angle of the head. And this is the line that kind of puts it together. So I kind of go around here, attach that together, and then bring it down, and then it kind of loops down like this. Kind of looks like a thumb. I don't know, a thumb shape. A little bent thumb. And then from here, it's really simply comes up as a point, down, and then this just comes across as hair right in there. Simple unicorn. The thing is to see these compound shapes and then see the placement of the eye in here, right about there. And we're just moving along, and then the little mouth, make it a happy little unicorn. And then we've got an ear right back in here. All right, there it is. Drawing number 2, complete. You can add trees, you can add more stuff. There we go. Somebody was telling me that they were looking at shapes like I had explained, but they were still having some trouble. And it does take practice seeing the shapes and practice doing them. We've got a couple of pairs. I'll actually share those pairs and share my screen. Here we go. Let me see. Here we go. There's the pairs. I think we can zoom in on these. Copy image, address. Yeah, we've got quite a few pairs. There we go. Zoom in. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's do these pairs. So with these pairs, let's annotate them. Basically, what's the biggest shape you see is a circle. What you want to see is actually them together as well as apart. But let's see the biggest circle. We can use, well, there's several ways to do it. There's an envelope way, which is kind of seeing it all as one big shape. These strong angles really help. And then seeing this here, this kind of almost envelopes it. But let's just go with the circles. Red is okay. It's a little angry if you follow color psychology. And I think this pair is in front of this pair. This pair's a little bit behind. And it's behind, let's see, because there's going to be a little bit of overlap. Yeah, you can see there's a slight bit of overlap. Yeah, right there, right there. That's it. And then you can see the smaller circles up there. Let's just make circles. Yeah, we got them. Really small in here, there, right in there. And it's kind of attached. Then you've got this, oh, the leaves up here. The leaves up there, that's, let's envelope that and see what that looks like. That can be enveloped. And what I mean by enveloping is seeing the edges of it. And when you see it like this, you see it as another shape, right? This almost looks like a, what is that? A trapezoid, a trapezoid. Oh my gosh, I had to go back to high school for that one. A trapezoid. And the angles help and the shapes help. All right, let's do this. Enough breaking down. So yeah, when you're having trouble with something, you got to learn how to break it down, learn how to see the shapes, how to see the parts, and kind of go back and forth. Let's go to the chat and put it in the chat so you can share. Here we go. Screenshot this. Bam. Put it in the chat. There we go. Let's draw this one. The next one is going to be really interesting. We've got, let's see, it's in the chat. All right. Did it go? Check the chat. Sorry. Feel like we're off a little bit today. Oh, where's the chat? GPT. There it is. Oh, that's weird. What's happening? One more time. Oh, it's weird. I don't want to see my chat. Oh, there it is. This is my participants. There we go. Now it's in the chat. There we go. It should be in the chat now. There's the picture. Sorry. All right, here we go. All right, let's download it for myself. All right, so we got two circles. We got two circles. So we got the one big circle, and then we got to see the relationship of that big circle to the other circle. The other circle is, and we can do that by finding the center of this circle. And the circle is really, you can see it's a universal shape. No matter how big or small you draw, it's going to be the same height, same width. And then this next one's a little bit smaller, a little bit higher. But if we find the center, you can bring it up at a slight angle. And it's like, it's going to be like the center is going to be like right. I didn't talk about that, but it should be right about there with a little bit of overlapping. And it's a little bit smaller. It is higher up. I can see the top of it. See, I'm looking at these relationships. I can see this circle is a little bit taller, so I can make it a little bit taller. And I can make it this one here too also. And actually, if I envelope it, I could see it like the top of the circle here, the bottom of this circle, and it would fit like right there. That's pretty good right there. See that these two lines really help seeing the relationship of those two circles. And there we go. Those are the two big circles, and they're kind of a little bit of overlapping. See that overlapping, slight overlapping. This one goes on top. It is closer. It's how artists create space, the overlapping. See, there we go. That pear is right there in front of that. And then we've got the circles on top. There's one up here. And this is at that slight angle too. You can see that at that angle and kind of see a circle, almost like a little snowman. There's some overlap, actually. There's a little bit of overlap, so making that circle a little bit bigger, a little more rounded. Right in there, sketching it in. It's okay to be sketchy. And then we've got another one up in here, and this one is higher up. This one's higher up. It is higher up. It's up in there. Well, I didn't draw it in there, but it's a little higher. So looking at the relationships, this circle's a little higher. So that looks pretty good. And then we've got the envelope. The envelope. So before I draw the pears, I'm going to just really quickly sketch the envelope. It's this mass that's up here, this big mass. So we've got where the leaves are, slight angle there, slight angle here. I can see it not straight up and down. It does go to from the bottom up, goes to the left, goes that slightly. And you can see it if I put this pencil straight on it. You can see it go out at an angle. And then I can get this angle here too from the center of this pear. And it kind of comes up this way. And then there's my trapezoid shape. I can see how far it goes out, and then I can see this big shape. There we go. That's the big shape. And it fits pretty good. We have a lot of space below. There we go. Not on my camera. Got to bring it down. All right, then zoom up. Well, that's as far as it goes. I have to change my setup here. I think, ooh, let's see. Let's do that. Let's move it over. There we go. There it is. All right, that's good. Oh, that looks good. There we go. All right. So it's all set up. That's our blocking in. I didn't really break this apart, but there is the leaves. I'm just going to put ovals in for now, but there's little turns with the leaves, and it's okay to start with ovals just to get the placement of them and sketch it in. There's 1, 2, 3. This one overlaps a little bit. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. The fourth one is way over here, and it kind of covers this area, the space right there. So the big shape is that trapezoid shape. And then you've got the middle-sized shapes, the mama shapes, or the leaves themselves, and the stems. Let's not forget the stems. There's a stem that kind of comes in here, it attaches itself there, and kind of comes down to this pear, a pair of pears, and then this one comes down. Kind of looks like a wishbone, actually does stick out a little bit, and then comes down to this. And that's blocking in. We just blocked in our drawing. Now that we have it blocked in, now we can actually work on the details. And it looks good. I'm looking back and forth at my drawing, and I'm looking at the our reference. It's called the reference. We're looking at the reference, and I'm looking back and forth to make sure it's accurate, and it's pretty accurate. If I need to make changes, this would be the time to make the changes. So it makes it easier to make the changes here, because I can move this up or down if I needed to. But now I'm happy with it, so I can go in and see this oval shape, which was the leaf. Now I can get into a little more detail here. And this top leaf has a little bit of a tapered tail, which it's a little bit of a twist. Okay, so what's happening is it's a twisty kind of shape. So it goes in one way and then it goes out the other. And it comes down to a point. Then here it has a little bit of a stem onto a little onto the stem, onto the bigger stem. Now this is actually this twist that's here is what really help show that. So it goes in and out. It's almost like a little S curve. This little S curve that goes inside that leaf. And then you have the little bends in the leaf. There's some curves. Just watch the way they're curving. They're curving all over the place. And they're usually, yeah, there we go. There we go. That one, and then one more right there. There. That's good. All right. Every drawing's a puzzle. You can see the big pieces, the small pieces. Let's do the same thing here. You can see again, it has that twist. So on one side, it does follow that oval. It does follow that oval, but on this other side, it pushes in and then comes out. It pushes in and comes out. So kind of like this little, it tapers it and makes this round shape. This oval shape, you can see that pushed in, that leaf shape. And then we get the inside, get that inside again. One side, and they do alternate. It alternates the design on here. Back and forth, back and forth. There it is. And then it attaches itself here. Oh, am I? Okay, good. I'm not muted. That happened a couple times. I'm like, wait a minute. It's because Ellen's not here. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I talking to myself? That's happened before where I'm yeah, but it didn't happen this time. All right, so same thing on this leaf here, the one that goes overlaps the pear. It's the same thing. So the outside pretty much goes around that oval shape, but it's the inside that kind of pushes in and then out, in and out. And it looks like a ponytail. We were calling this a tapered tail because it looks like a ponytail. It does go to a point, and then this one attaches itself to the stem, that bigger stem on there somehow. Some there. Curves out. This has a little curve to it. And then we've got the little lines. There's 3 on one side if you can fit them in. Sometimes I didn't break it down. There's 3 that helps. 1, 2, 3. And then there's 4 on the other side. A little one. And they're in between. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. That's it. There's our other leaf. And our last leaf up here, same thing. The top part curves down. It's on that shape. And then the bottom one gets pushed up and then down in like a ponytail. Right? And you can see how I did that from the oval shape to something more specific now, kind of breaking it down to its elements, to its parts. There it is. You'll see that shape. The more you draw, the more you'll see it. Like, hey, there's that shape. All right, here we go. And then it's all over the place. Looks like there's another scribble in there. We'll just do it. There's 3 below it. 1, 2, 3. I'll clean it up a little bit. And then we'll do in between on the top. 1, 2, and 3 on top. There we go. It looks pretty good. All right, I like that. I approve. All right, I see. Let me move my picture so I can see if there's anything in the chat, and there's not. So that's good. All right, here we go. I'm happy with that. I'm looking back and forth. It looks pretty good. This is probably a little bit bigger than it should be, but that's okay. If you really need it to be exact, you can, well, practice more, but also use grid shapes, grids to help. All right, so there's kind of like a circle shape there, and then it goes out, and there's kind of like a, it looks like a wishbone. It does look like a wishbone, this stem that goes to the middle. We're aiming to the middle, the top middle of our circles here. Have to curve that a little bit. And it does curve in there. And so it does get a little bit thicker as it goes up to the top. Yeah, but it should aim for the center of the, I think I'm a little off there. Well, it's off center. And then here, this one probably goes a little bit thinner. There it is. There's the wishbone, that wishbone shape. All right. You got to know why you're sketching too. Why are you sketching? Is it just for fun? That's good. Sketch ideas, then you should be doing it. You should be sketching ideas. You should be copying. You should be aiming for stuff. I break things down so I can show you that things are made out of shapes. And then the more you learn that language, the more you can start seeing shapes everywhere and start drawing forms. Form is the next level. All right, so that stem does attach itself to this pear. And you can see kind of like a little star shape that I added as it adds to the pear of pears. Then we've got the top of the pear, and then it curves onto the bottom of the pear here. You can see it kind of curves. It goes on all the way around. And it's okay if it's bumpy, because it is bumpy. It doesn't have to be like a perfect circle. Here we go. Let's bring it up, bring those two together. And there's our pear. One of them, anyways. We don't have a pair of pears yet. And it is shaded on one side. It looks like they're shaded, and the way they did the shading is with just little dots. Or shading, you can shade several ways. You can also shade by adding a little more shade this way. This hatching. I'll probably go a little bit darker so you can see it. I'm looking up on my screen. Could be darker. There we go. Let's see, is that all right? And then now the second pair, and we're done with our pair of pears. All right, so there's a little bit of overlapping right here. It does push in right there. So this one's behind. So that's really crucial that it goes behind. You can see that my sketch there. And then it is attached up in here. There's the top. And then it comes down. This would be nice to do a watercolor over this, or you know, do more shading, do more pears, practice your pears. I mean, these are shapes and forms. All right, we're getting more and more challenging. We start off with our basic tree. Then we went to our simple unicorn, if you're just coming in. And then we've got our little pear here. There is shading on this side. It's good just to even almost scribble it in. If you're not at the shading stage, that's okay. You don't have to shade. You can do just dots. And actually, that's what is in there. There's just a lot of little dots that are kind of showing shading, almost pointillism, to get that shade in there. Or you can do a combination of both, like I just did right now. There you go. Maybe bigger dots. Yeah, because these pears can have texture and shading. You can do both. There, it's a line drawing. I could make it stronger. There it is. All right, we're making it to our next drawing. Our next drawing is, this is the one I'm looking forward to, is the little car. We're going to have to break that one down. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's break it down. I'm looking forward to this car. And Francois, good to see you. All right, see a lot of familiar faces. All right, Constanza, David, Mary, Nancy, Ramona, Sandra, Sue, Jacqueline, who's here on time all the time. Awesome, awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's share our our next drawing. This car is going to be so cool. Now there is another pair here. Am I sharing the right? Oh, yeah, I should be hopefully sharing my pairs. I'm not sure what you see now. Hopefully you see these pairs. Can you see these pairs? A thumbs up somewhere? I don't know. Okay, so we have those pairs, and then these pairs. A lot more detail. You can see the flowers. There's a lot more stuff. We're going to pass on these pairs, but we're going to go to this car. We're going to jump to this car. Here we go. We're going to copy the image address. We're going to put it up here. Let's replace that and see how this is. I can't wait to break this one down. I can see a square in there already. I can already see a square. Oh, where did it go? What time we were? Oh, it's way too big now. There we go. That's perfect right there. Now, hopefully you can see it. Did I get a thumbs up? I'm not sure. I'm going to stop and share again. So I'm not sure if you can see this. I did that so fast. There we go. That's better. Now I'm sure you got it. All right, let's break this down. Oh, if I annotated it, there we go. Let's see where the square is. I can definitely see a rectangle, but a square really helps. And right in here, there it is. Oh, look at that. Oh my, see it. And I can bring it over so I can see what that square is right in there. Bam. It's going out a little bit. Let's move it up right in there. You can see how it's a little bit different from a square. I can probably make it a little bigger. Let's see, let's make it a little bigger. There it is. Now it's inside the square. Now, if we copy paste that square, we have two exact same squares. Bring this one over, right over there. Oh yeah, it's less than a square on this side. Interesting. It's gone too far. All right, so the front part is less than a square. But what's cool is that I can see the center. Oh, there's the center. Let's see where the center is. Ah, that's it right there. Boom. Right here. So the center is going to help. Why? It's going to help because now we have a relationship. We have two squares, or actually a square and a half. And the square and a half comes right in here, right in here. It's going to come up right in there. So that's going to help. I can't see the other side, so that's not good. So let's go to here. And I think I saw it right about in here, right there. Let's see if that's true. Click on it again. Oh, it's off a little bit. Let's see if we can move this over a little bit. Let's see. There it is. There it is. That's it. That's where it goes. All right, so that's a square and a half. That's good. Oh, let's break this down into fourths as well. Right in here. Oh, look at that. Right in there. Let's break that into fourths. Here we go. Right here. Let's break this into fourths with a line right here again. See, this is going to help. This is fourths. Well, there, and then this one is up here. Right in there. Just right inside that. Here we go. Right in there. There, that one's fourths. So we're going to start off with this square. I should color it a different color. And then you can see it down here, the circles. There we go. That's good. This is going to be fun. Let's do this one. All right. I'm excited. Ooh, dogs outside. Here we go. Let's see. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Chat. Where's the chat? Why does my chat disappear? There it is. All right, here we go. Screenshot. All right, here we go. And we're off to the races. Okay, again, feel free to draw at your own pace, draw your own way. If you're here just to practice, that's what it's about. It's more than just, I just show you my process, several processes. There's a lot of ways to do it. Sometimes you got to find your way. So here we go. Let's download it now. Here we go. We got a square. Let me move it over here. There we go. Participants. Where to go? There it is. Oh, just go up here. There it is. All right. So I know I need two squares. We've got one square. I can see one square in here. And I need a little bit of space below that square. Now, what's up with the square is it needs to be the same height, same width. So it's a unit 1 by 1. So this is our whole body of the car is going to be here. So let's see how accurate I got that. That looks pretty square. You can eyeball it, all of this. You don't have to use a ruler. It'd be good to kind of like eyeball it. But you can also use another piece of paper. I was going to use my ruler here. But another piece of paper, you can use this one here and check the width, check the height, and it's a little bit off. It was a little bit too tall, just slight. It's not a big deal, but that's not too bad. Then the more you practice, the better you get at seeing squares, the height and the width. All right, so there it is. That's pretty square. Then we can break that into fourths. Break this into fourths. We need to break this into fourths. So we're going to break it into half and then half again. And this also takes eyeballing. This also takes a little bit of practice, right? And if you need to do, go here, we had our measurement, and then just fold this in half. That'll get you the halves. It's simple. Just gotta learn to fold. Get it there, and then fold it out. There it is. There it is. So there's the middle. There's the middle. Look at that, right on center. See how well I did over here, eyeballing it. There it is. Look at right on center. That's pretty good. So there's our fourths. And then we know we need to bring this one out and just bring out one of these fourths. So now that we have our square, we're gonna use one of these little squares, bring it out that much because that's half of our square. And then just bring that up. Bring that up and bring it over. And then here, this is the part we need mostly, actually, this square down there. All right, that's it. Let's get our wheels in and then we'll get going. The center of the wheel is kind of like right in the middle of this square here. And then it goes up about that much. And then it touches that side and it touches this side. So it's in here. Kind of sketch it in right in here. Maybe bring it down. I don't know. It probably goes up a little bit. Yeah, that's what it does. So it's going up. But this bottom part is the circle. That's how it fits right in there. And the center is here. Now what's happening is the inside of the wheel is all one piece. So it's actually, now that I'm observing, that inside part, it's all going to be shaded anyways, but this bottom part is the wheel, and this is the center. That would be the circle, but it does go up a little bit higher. So it's not a perfect circle, but they shaded it all in to get it lost in there. All right, there's our one tire. Our other tire is way on this other side, like probably right over here. It does come in here a little bit. It is about the same size. There we go. We can actually use some guidelines to help place that other circle way over here on this other side. See, just a little guideline right here. And there we go. And then we've got the height and the bottom. Now we can use our paper again. That's just one square. That's how wide that tire is. Go over here. It does come in here. And it goes out here, so we can make it the same width. And the center will probably be right about there. Yeah, right above, right in there. There we go. And now I can draw that tire in there. And I'm sketching it in lightly. I'm just blocking it in. I'm just blocking stuff in really lightly. I usually go lighter than this. Although some people, it's light. I can't see it. I have students. I can't see it. Yeah, but I would go even lighter. All right, there we go. There's our wheels. Wheel of Fortune here. Then we've got, let's get the parts now. We've got the wheel cover, kind of goes over and goes into this corner here of our, before our big first square goes there. Oops. Have it flow. It should flow from there to there. It goes over that wheel and it comes down below. Oh, actually, yeah, right at the that corner, right at the corner of 5th and Main, right at the corner. In this corner, and then now we got the thickness of it. Let's get the thickness of that little fender. I think, yeah, it's called a fender. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna add a little more style to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of a curve to it, but there's a thickness to it. There's this thickness. Goes here, and it does go a little bit wider, slightly wider as it comes out on this side and above and into this other square at this angle, and then it goes beyond, goes slightly beyond. Yeah, just a little bit beyond. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's get that going here. You can see that thickness, that fender. That fender. Then we've got it connected to the fender here, the tire right here. You can see here, it just comes in a little bit. See, so you should have that. It's not right at the edge. It comes in, and here, this would be 12 o'clock. This would be 9 o'clock. So it's 9, 10, 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's around 10 o'clock. 10, 11, right there. That goes up right from 10 o'clock. If this was a clock, this circle, that goes up right there. All right, there's a lot of detail in the spokes. We'll have to get those. And then we've got the bottom of this. Let's just keep it going. Right in here, and it's not perfectly straight. There's a little bit of a curve to it, but we can make it straight. There it is at the front, the bottom, and then that's attached to the wheel. Then we've got the top of the car here, right about, yeah, actually right about from the middle of this circle, right above it, a little bit in, and then we go in. Look at the relationships. Okay, so we're looking at this square here, and this whole radiator, because that's what that is, comes actually past it a little bit. It goes in a little bit. Maybe I'm making it a little, I feel it's a little bit thicker than it needs to be. My proportions might be off a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. Let's erase that part. So I can see it. What could be confusing is the thickness of these lines. These lines are pretty thick. Some of these lines are pretty thick. But there is a cap, a radiator cap right on top. Right in there. And how big is that relationship to everything else? Yeah, because it comes up here. I'm going to block stuff in because I'm already getting into a lot of detail here. I might be going too big, too small. And it's kind of hard to tell without the relationships. That's why we block things in. This might be a little bit too big, but that's okay. And it's light on one side. There's a little bit of light, and I can just shade it all in as one dark piece, but the light hits it on one side. The artist did that on purpose to make it look more three-dimensional, and I just flattened it. There it goes. That's a little better. See, there's a little bit of light on one side. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's block the rest of this in. We'll just block it in really quickly. I know this comes down to that. It does kind of go up. And then the horn, there's that horn that kind of just comes out slightly right in there. Comes back. A little bit of circle, almost like right in the middle. Actually, it should be lower. Should be right about there. I think I'm raising everything a little bit higher up, but according to this, it should be lower, but right in the center. So if we were to break this into fourths again, this top quadrant right here, that one, break it into fourths. It's below the middle, but right in the middle, like right in the middle of this line, but below the middle of the horizontal line, but right on the vertical line. That's where that circle should be. That's the horn, and then that comes out and out. And I think this should come up below it. This is the horn. And that's the horn. Then you've got the shade that goes above it. Bring this below a little bit. There we go. Car's coming along. Still blocking in though. Here we go. Let's and then you've got this angle here right against that horn coming up and fitting inside at this. This is going to come up at this angle, and then you have this perpendicular to that. Should be a 90-degree angle right there. That's the symbol for 90 degrees. All technical. And then you've got it just at a 90 degrees perpendicular to that, and it hits right to the center line right there, and then it comes up. And there's a thickness to it. There's a thickness to it. We'll add the thickness and all that stuff later. I'm just kind of blocking stuff in. And then we've got, here we go. Let's bring this down. This is just going straight across. And then it comes down right back here. Right back here. Here we go. All right, so it just comes straight across and then right back down here. And it's not in the middle of that square, it's a little further back. All right, let's get the top part. All right, let's see. It does come in. that back window is not off the center. Don't get that confused. But it comes up, and that's the highest point of our car. Because from here, it comes down at this angle, and you want to aim for the tip of this right in there, that tip. You have this triangular kind of shape. Looks like a spike, or what else would that be? Long finger. All right, then we've got the back part, comes down, and then it comes in and around. Oh, there should be a fender on this back one too. I just lost the fender. So above this, there's a little bit of space, and then there's a fender. So let's add the fender. It's really thin. It goes up, around. We're adding the back fender. I'm adding the back fender. And I went too far with our line up there. This back fender comes down. And it should kind of go out a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of a little bell bottom on it. There's our bell bottom. And here I went too far, so I'm gonna erase this. Everything's made up of shapes. Got to practice, practice, practice. We have some resources. Oh, the resources didn't come out. The resources will be out next week. I'll try it again next week. But if not, you can go to right after today. Go to sketchbookwarrior.com. And then there's some resources there. I'm going to have a whole page of resources where you can click on books and get them, and don't worry about advertising and other stuff. You can just click on them and download a PDF of some drawing books. All right, that's it. That's blocked in. That's blocked in. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to go from left to right, and we'll just go ahead and start doing the details. Let's start doing the details. So let's do the details. There is shadow. The lines are pretty. There's the quality of the line is really interesting. So there's thickness of line. You can thicken up those lines, and the bottom line here is a little bit thicker, just to show that it has weight, and it looks like it's three-dimensional. Gives that more of a three-dimensional feel, because it would probably have a shadow or something underneath. So there's that, and it was done with some kind of ink with a really thick pen, and it was done really quickly. You can see that there. And it looks like there's a little bit of a bump up here that we're missing. Could be a light, could be, I don't know, it's a really thin shape that's up here. And we'll just do that like that. We got there we go. Cleaning it up. And then here, a little bit of shade as well on the radiator. But again, it's a really thick ink. Probably even a brush. It looks like it was done with a brush. And we've got also, again, a thick line that kind of comes up in here, up to the horn. Imagine having to honk that horn. Beep, beep. Back in the day. They didn't even have windshield wipers on the first cars. It had to be a woman had the idea for the windshield wiper. Then they had to invent traffic signals. Traffic signals. So the bottom's a little bit straighter, and the top does come down on our horn. And there's a little bit of like a shiny kind of line that goes through it to make it look a little shiny. And it looks like it has some kind of attachment parts. You can attach those. And it also has some shading to make it look rounded. So on our horn, there's a little bit of, there's like a core shadow, and then all these other little textures in here. Don't worry about them, just kind of like shade them in. And the bottom line also is thick to make it give it some weight and form. This bottom line. Yep, that's good. It's good enough. There's our horn. Let's all right, let's work on this wheel and keep working our way left to right. So this wheel has a thickness to it. There's this thickness to the wheel. And this is where it takes a little bit of practice to get that as a concentric circle, which means it's, once you see the center and you're looking at, this is a good exercise to do concentric circles, which is one circle inside another circle. I'm going to try to get that thickness as it goes all the way around, right in there, that thickness of that tire. And you don't have to be perfect because this is all scribbly. There's scribblies in here. The spokes are all spoken for. All right, so let's see. I kind of did that. And why don't I go ahead and shade the whole thing? It's definitely dark in here, and the wheel gets lost in that shading back in here in this whole area. So this whole tire is dark, and it's just shaded really quickly. And you can tell they practice their shading and scribbling, and that's how they can, get a feel of how they want it to look. I'm just here just filling that area in. All this man didn't go cleanly, so I'm cleaning this up right here. I can go in there and clean this up, and it's okay if I pass it a little bit. The sketch is really sketchy. This is a sketch. It's just a sketch. It's not. There we go. That's it. Now we're going to do the spikes, the little spokes, the spokes on these tires. Spokes. All right, so the spokes find a center, and then the lines just kind of come out. Actually, they should kind of be going at different angles, but there's one, and there's a thickness to these lines too. There's different angles because they do cross over. Some of these cross over like that, like it's yeah, I've studied these because what happens is there's like a circle part, and then some go on the inside, some go on the outside as it goes out and connects. And it does that because it makes it a stronger. Now that it's just solid, these rims are solid, but it makes it stronger because it's going at different angles. So, and you use less material, but you can just go ahead and scribble lines here and there. Fill it in. You can see like up here, all the lines kind of get lost. It kind of gets lost up in here. So we can actually shade this top part. I'm shading this whole top part in again. All this should be like one piece. It gets lost in here. There we go. Opens it up. The mix, the ratio of how many lines to put, kind of almost even break some stuff up. Try to make it look as authentic because I know some of these lines are crossing over. Not that much. Yeah, there we go. They cross over. Like I said, what's happening is actually, here's your center, and some of these, yeah, they cross over like that. There we go. There's this almost like an X shape that's happening through the whole thing. Yeah, as they go at that angle. I'm not quite capturing it, and neither are they, so it doesn't really try to get the feel of it. Yeah, just putting something. There we go. That's good. I'm happy with that. All right, let me zoom in on it so you can see the fiasco here, and it's all shaded. Let's there's different shades in here. I'm trying to shade it all one shade, so I'm flattening it out. It's all shadow anyways, so it kind of gets lost. So I'm gonna go back in there and shade it all one shade. There we go. That's it. Here, the car's coming along. There we go. There's the top. It'd be fun to build this car. All right. It should be, yeah, it should be out a little bit more. Yeah, I did pull this back for some reason. I don't know. Is that half? Something's off here. I feel like it should be longer in here. That's okay. Yeah, it should be longer. Something went awry. What am I looking at? Something, oh, okay. Yeah, this should be further back. Yeah, this should be further back. Maybe I brought my horn a little too forward. That's okay. But I can see where I made the mistake. I can see where I made the mistake. And we don't beat ourselves up. We learn from them. We learn from our mistakes. 'Cause that's the nobody's perfect, and if if you come out perfectly, then that's the thing. How do you handle when things don't turn out? That's the true lesson. That's what makes you a warrior. Be prepared to make mistakes. Mistakes are the stepping stones to success. And that was just yeah, I didn't watch. This should come out a little bit more. Basically, I think the horn is going out a little too far. That's okay. It's just slight. It's not a big deal. Just let it go. Let it go. It's good enough. Nobody's gonna notice. There we go. Then it just comes down here, and there's a lot of texture lines. I'm gonna push this here. There's, yeah, I guess this is something that holds that whole hood together. There's that thickness there. And then you've got this, the door. I don't know what this is, if it's, I don't think they even had rear view mirrors yet. But there's this edge line here, comes down there. Yeah. And then this comes over. Then, yeah, there's definitely a darkness down here. There's a big, thick, dark shape. Right. Trust the squares, trust the squares. I'm trying to trust the squares as much as I can, but I feel like it's off. I feel like it's off, but it's looking good. I think it's looking really good. It's all good. Here we go. Now we've got some lines in here. Let's get those lines in there. These are just like texture designs. I'm just kind of just putting them in. Yeah, you can see this is not a big deal where they go, but it's almost like shading as it comes down. There's more as it gets darker down here. So I just I'm putting extra ones, I think. But this one is definitely, there's like a thickness. This thickness is where the door crevice or crack is, and then there's another line underneath it and kind of like shaded. There we go. That's the feel of it. I'm getting the feel. And then the door, I guess this would be the door. And then the top, there's the top up here is there's a thickness to it as well. Let's get that thick line. It's pretty thick. Thick as a brick. Right in there. There we go. Coming along. Nice little profile. You can thicken some of these lines up. Look back and forth, see where you need to thicken some of the lines up. Like here too, this is not all dark. It looks like there's some highlight in it. I'm gonna try to leave that highlight. See, I just did these two parallel lines. And then it does attach itself. There's like little triangles that attaches itself to that part of the steering wheel. The top part is dark. Then here it goes down here. Yeah, that's good enough. And then here, try to get that rounded, almost like a long hot dog kind of shape. There it is. That's the steering wheel. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. All right. All right. We're almost there. All right. Kizzy. Oh, oh, we missed it, huh? Yeah. Did he make second? Is the question. Da, 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 da. Man. All right. Watch the thickness of your lines. Again, we're finishing this up. We just need that last tire and clean up some of these lines. Look back and forth. You got to use your own judgment. See what you like, what you don't like, and how you can fix it. And then just let it go. Did your best. You do your best. And say, okay, I did my best. That's it. And then off to the next one. You can start fresh. There's grace in your sketchbook. See here, grace, fresh new start. If you want to try again, or every drawing is a new start. Don't get all upset. Don't get bent out of shape. People do, you know. Sometimes I don't. I had guilt. I had a lot of heavy guilt because we make mistakes, but sometimes you can't, you got to learn to give yourself grace. And here, hey, we can start over. Start over. But sometimes in life, it's a little harder. Some mistakes are a little more life. Yep, life altering, yeah, life altering. But you just got to learn to deal. Nothing's perfect. Learn to deal, learn to live, and move on. All right, here we go. And rectify if you can a little bit. So I feel like I'm doing. But it's all good. Here we are rectifying. If you can fix it, here there's a little bit of a curve right in here. It gives that form, really pushes it out. There's a little bit of a curve right at that end. There we go. And there's that thickness of line. This thickness of this line gives it this drawing character. If I had ink, it'd be a quick ink line. But since we don't, we have to thicken it up, thicken up these lines. It's a really quick, loose drawing. You can use it as a sketch, put another paper over it and then ink it in. That'd be fun. All right, let's do the last tire. This tire is the same way as the other tire. We're going to get that thickness first. Try to get that thickness. Again, really good practice to get these concentric circles. Because it's more than just drawing a line. You're drawing a shape. And you're drawing the thickness of this tire and trying to get it all the way as we go around. Concentric. Should probably bring it down a little bit. Bring this out a little bit and fix things. Use your judgment. Use your judgment. Bum, ba, da, bum. Oh, you got second place. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh man. Don't even, gosh, I don't even want to know how much. Jeez. I'm having a, what is he talking about? Little competition. I didn't put it in the chat. It's like, well, because yeah, we had a cat battle. Well, we'll probably ask for everybody's help because we've got this cat in a competition. And yep. All right, so I'm shading all this background. All this is dark. It does go up a little higher there. And then here, these lines there's some areas that are really thick. Why don't we do it like that? I'm trying to look and trying to draw what I see. There's really thick there, really thick right in here. And then there's smaller ones in the middle. See, so there's some like the pattern of just lines, thickness, and some. Let's shade all these, this area, shade in the tire. White wall. And zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Oh, there we go. That tire back there, that back tire. All right, here we go. Let's do this. I'm going to retire. Retire this tire. There we go. Yeah, the top is really dark. The top, all this top stuff should fade into that whole top part. And that's all really scribbled. There's a little bit of small little hubcap, whatever that is. You don't see it on this other front tire, but here you do on this back tire. Oh, and then it probably looks like it has probably disc brakes. There's probably another circle in here, and all that's even darker. There we go. Yeah, there's like disc brakes on this one. You got to put on the disc brakes so it can stop. So this whole area, there's another circle. Yeah, another circle. And then let's see. There we go. And then just scribble the lines. You kind of want to use your judgment. See, okay, what's the spacing? There's like 3 lines that are really close together. There's some that are really thick. There's a variety of lines. Here, there's a whole area is thick. Let's just do a really thick line. There we go. That's it. Bam, bam. And then shade the tire. Good practice shading here. Solid filling in. Pencil control. Fill it all in. All these shapes like a puzzle. And there it is. Look at that. Wow. And I would add, we had this guideline to get the size of that, but a little bit of a shadow under there. And if you want to color it or shade it some more, use, you do you. See, I would probably shade this a little bit more. It makes this fender pop a little bit more because this background is dark. You do patterns of light and dark. Probably a little bit of shade on this hood part. Oh, it's a convertible right there. There it is. A little a horseless carriage. There we go. A little more shades here and there. There it is. I'm happy with it. There it is. You can animate it. How the wheels turn. All right, and that's it. Like, subscribe, and let's keep it going.